Hello, welcome guys. Welcome to my channel. So today we will understand Agile Manifesto or Agile values. What are those Agile values which have been disclosed by Agile Manifesto? So, so as per Agile Manifesto, it states that Agile gives values to individuals and interactions over processes and tools. So that simply means that Agile processes or Agile methodology in itself, it gives importance to people, how they are communicating, the open communication, the transparency, rather than sticking to a process, or rather than taking precedence over a tool. Also, it values working software or continuous value delivery over detailed documentation. So I think this question comes multiple times, whether documentation is required in Agile or not. So it's not like that. Minimal documentation is required, but I mean, documentation doesn't have a precedence over the working software. Always our working copy of the software or the value that we are delivering to the customer, that has a high importance or precedence over any sort of a documentation or sign off. Also, Agile processes, or it they give value to collaborating with a customer. So I mean, customer is at a center stage. That means, it's not like, we have signed a contract and all our project execution is governed by that contract, right? So we are collaborating with the customer when it comes to the Agile processes. So whatever we are building, whether it's a product, I mean, customer is at a center place. I mean, we understand that, we are building for the customer. So any request which is coming from the customer, we have to understand it. So it's more like a open collaboration, open sort of communication with the customer and the teams. Agile values accepting a change over adhering to a plan. So that means, if we compare to the traditional model where, we have a requirements document and the requirements have been signed off and the teams are executing the project based on the requirements which have been built initially. But when it comes to the Agile, a change can come from the customer. It could be a new feature which is pretty much required based on the changing market needs. So I mean, the teams needs to be adaptive. They needs to understand that, this sort of a change can come from the business. And so this is the fourth and very important principle, that, our adaptability, our acceptance to the changes. Now, the same Agile manifesto that we saw in the last slide, I mean, I described those Agile values as a combination of 4 C's. So we will understand, what are those 4 C's. So the first C is the communication, right? I mean, when we say that Agile values individuals and interaction over processes and tool, that simply means Agile values communication. That means, transparency in our work. The second C states that continuous value delivery. That means we are delivering at a consistent pace, at a sustained pace, delivery value to the customer. So there is emphasis on the continuous value delivery. The third C is the collaboration. That means collaboration within the team as well as other teams who are working on the same product line and the customers. Fourth C is our change acceptance. Like I stated in the last slide, that means our willingness to accept and adapt to the changes. So that does not mean that, every new day we are, getting new change requests from the customer. That simply means, we are open in terms of what sort of changes are recommended by the customer, if there are any new feature. Plus there is a formal process which has been laid out, and everyone is comfortable, including the teams and the customer, how the changes are coming. So these are the 4 C's through which we can define the Agile values: communication, continuous value delivery, collaboration, and change acceptance. So thank you everyone. Thanks for your time. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe.